So hello, Oregon, and welcome to the Tax Time Allies ACE Award. We're here today to celebrate you, the hardworking staff of Metropolitan Family Services and Cache, Oregon. I am so happy to see you today, and a shout out to Riley and to Magali who are representing you today. 2 years ago at the Prosperity Summit, we launched the Tax Time Allies campaign with you and more than a dozen of our other VITA partners. We made a pledge at the summit and we sealed it with a collective fist bump at the end. We committed as a group to guide taxpayers, to make sure that they got their taxes done right for no cost and they got all the money that they were owed. We pledged to keep them informed, to help them save, to get them what they needed, and to watch their backs. Nothing we wrote or said in that pledge was new. We just wrote and said what we knew to be true about you and our other VITA partners and what we all wanted to do together. This year, when the world needed allies more than ever, Metropolitan Family Services and Cache, Oregon took it to the next level of greatness. Within hours of the COVID-19 shutdown orders, you were looking for ways to stay open and to stay home, but to stay open for business so you could continue to provide the excellent service to the community. And you found that excellent service by creating from scratch a virtual coaching program to help clients prepare their own returns on their own, many for the first time in their lives, and all from the safety of their own homes. They simply had to call your tax help hotline to connect with one of your IRS certified volunteers who could answer their questions, build their confidence, and get them whatever they needed to complete their returns with either our free file product offering or one from another company. I cannot emphasize this enough. This was not easy. To create a program like this within a matter of weeks from scratch required the most out-of-the-box thinking you can imagine. And it required Herculean amounts of time, efforts, and diligence to test and perfect the technology, to test and perfect volunteer training, to get community ownership, and almost as importantly, to motivate and to convince your clients to transition from a service they knew so well into a new service model. The impact: more than 50 volunteers facilitated almost 1,300 coaching sessions with taxpayers. And you did this while physically separated from your work colleagues and while personally taking care of the health, safety, and well-being of your own family and friends. I doubt this one example is even half of all of the different things that you did to serve during this time, but it does demonstrate the space and energy you found to be innovative while tapping into dogged resilience that had to last and shine throughout a tax season that just didn't seem to want to end. The Intuit Financial Freedom Foundation wants to make sure that your efforts are seen, honored, and appreciated, not because your work is done, but because you are just getting started with this new era of innovation and leadership, and we want everybody to know. So, with our love and our bottomless esteem, we are recognizing Metropolitan Family Services and Cache, Oregon with our brand new Tax Time Allies ACE Award for extraordinary effort in extraordinary times. ACE stands for Allies Committed to Excellence and Delivered, and truer words have never been spoken. You absolutely delivered it. We thank you, and we thank you for acing it. Congratulations. So with that, Riley, Magali, we'd love to hear from you.
Well, thank you so much. I'll say we are so honored to receive this recognition. I will say the Volunteer Tax Hotline Initiative was really an incredibly collaborative effort. It was a result of many, many, many people coming together in the midst of this crisis, way beyond just Magali and myself here right now. And all these folks were truly dedicated to assisting folks despite the immense barriers that we've seen through this crisis. I first of all want to thank all of the volunteers who were a part of this initiative. I mean, these folks were resilient. Not only are they tax experts and spend an incredible amount of time getting certified and being able to do this, but they were able to quickly come on board, learn a whole new way of doing this and developing skills that they didn't know they have, all in a rapid fire manner. Without them, none of this would have been possible. So I really, my hats off go to all the volunteers. Additionally, I would like to thank the IRS spec team. They were very helpful and influential in helping us think through and develop what this project would look like. Special shout out to Christy. Thank you so much for that. And last but not least, I'd like to thank the Tax Time Allies and their team for the ongoing and continual support that they had in putting this event on, but also in developing out this whole process with us. Very key partner. I think the key concept that we were thinking about when it all came to this is how can we as an organization respond to a global pandemic when our normal day-to-day operations were no longer an option at all. We suddenly found ourselves in a position where we had two groups, right? We had taxpayers that desperately needed help, and we had expert volunteers that really were eager to help, but everybody was stuck at home. So it really became a question of how can we seamlessly bring these two groups together and ensure the community can continue to access tax refunds, earned income tax credit, and last but not least, the economic impact payments, which came brand new this year. All of these were like critical economic resources that were suddenly unavailable because of the closure of the Volunteer Tax Prep Network, which normally in Oregon does 50,000 tax returns. So really out of that, thinking again of these two groups, we created this volunteer hotline and rapidly went through and thinking about how can we get the software to assist us in doing that. So like you said, over 1,200 calls were made from start to finish. And I think what's really exciting about it is we were able to help folks from all over Oregon. Not only our Portland area home, but all the way down to Ashland, Eugene, the Oregon coast, out in Central Oregon. All over we were helping folks. So it's just really exciting in that regard. But as you said, I think this is just the starting point for what we're looking at. Despite the formal deadline passing, folks still need help. We're hearing from people every single day that are struggling with the complexities and the intricacies of taxes, and they need help from expert volunteers. And we know that Oregon still lags behind in earned income tax credit. So we know that our job is not done by any means, but I really remain hopeful and optimistic that through these difficult times that we've come up with some innovative work that can have lasting impacts on how we do work moving forward. What I'll close with is saying I really think of this as like a first step, in a very long and hard journey where we continue to reach out and try to help Oregonians get access to all these vital economic resources. But again, I just want to thank you so much for putting this event on and recognizing all the amazing work that's being done. So thank you.
Magali, what would you like to share?
Well, I think, thank you, Riley. Actually, he said it so well that I would be repeating what he says. But I would like to emphasize the role of our volunteers, their willingness to learn in such a short period of time. Not only, like Riley said, they're tax experts, but they got exposed to a really new world. And be willing to help volunteer taxpayers that whose English is not their first language, so they have to work with an interpreter. So not only that they have to deal with the technology, but having someone else on the line translating. You can imagine the picture right there. So yeah, my hats are off to our volunteers. Without them, this program wouldn't have worked the way it did. We every week we met at the end of the week and we share what we have learned from each other. So, and that was in 1 hour community that we had with our volunteers, and you could sense their happiness and their enthusiasm. And so it's just all about our volunteers. We were, like Riley said, we were in the middle to get these two groups together. Our clients are our volunteers, and I cannot say enough how proud I am of being part of this program. And we hope to move forward and use this new tool in the future. Hopefully we'll get to help folks in person, but I think this will be also a tool to have for people that cannot come to our sites, and we can help remotely. So thank you so much for this award. I feel honored.
You're thanking us, but honestly, we cannot thank you enough for your leadership and your inspiration.